What are you saying, people? Back with a bang. TWP back to bring you guys another video today. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing my top stocks to watch for August video, the one I made at the beginning of last month. The reason I'm doing that is so you get an idea of how stocks can move over a period of time, like a month period. So you get an idea of how I look at price action, technicals, fundamentals, post earnings plays, that, and also other things. Also, I want you guys to understand how I review stocks, because obviously I made the video at the beginning of last month. It's nice to see how those stocks panned out and how they fared. You're going to be pretty impressed and surprised. And I also just want you guys to get the idea that, you know, when you do have watch lists, when you do have plans and different things you're trying to do with the market, it's also good to go back, look, back test, you know, just review things, because that's how you make progress and that's how you actually track what you've been doing. So before we get into that, do me a huge favor and drop a thumbs up, because now not only am I creating videos for you, but I'm also reviewing the videos I created. So it's a little bit more work. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And don't forget, make sure you can share this with your friends, your family, whoever, and make sure you comment in the comment section below. So let's get into the video. Now, just before we start, I do want to say the screen you're going to see has the stock prices as they are now. I might mention some stock prices from last month, but again, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot the video because I have it up on the other screen. I'm going to screenshot it, and then you guys can see the pricing from last month and then compare it to how it is now. So the first stock that I had to watch for the month of August was PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. So as you can see, this is the 4-hour chart. Let me pull up the daily for you. This was the, where were we? 1st of August, somewhere around here. Like I said, I've got my stuff on the other screen, so let me just look at that. Okay. So yeah, PayPal was around $61. Right here, first couple of days of August, $60, $59. We ended up rallying all the way to $73.88 this month. So going into September, we're now at $73. As you can see from here, well, we talked about it in the video, up to here, we've continued rallying. PayPal hasn't had any earnings since the video, but we have seen some consistent price action. You guys know I like talking about what they're doing. Alex Chriss, what he's doing as the CEO. He's been in there, I think, just under a year now. Also, remember, if you own PayPal, you own Venmo. I've talked plenty of times about how people are constantly using PayPal and Venmo, especially Venmo. And if you own PayPal, you own Venmo. Now, PayPal still has a lot of bigger plans for the near future in regards to payment processing. So I will still keep PayPal on watch. One thing I would say is, and please remember, I'm going to make a top stocks to watch for September. One thing I would say is, you've got to have your price targets. So I told the group the other day what my price targets were for PayPal. Every time we beat one of my price targets, I've got new higher price targets. Look, because we're trying to get back up to that 118 long term. When I first put PayPal on my watch list, that was 2022. It was around $118. Now it's sold off. It's just over half of that. We still have a lot of room to run. We still have plenty of upside with PayPal. So I'm intrigued about how PayPal will pan out. But again, we've jumped up how many dollars since the video? Like $13, $14 within a month. So that's a great amount of return, to be honest, within a month. And if you played options, even better. The next stock I mentioned in that video was Airbnb. And by the way, like I said, I have that video here. There we go. So I can see it on, you know, if you're wondering, you know, where to catch the video, I'll plug it in so you guys can go check it out for yourselves. But Airbnb. So Airbnb, when I made the video, was $120, $121. Somewhere up here. All right, maybe 125 then, okay. Before earnings, obviously, it dropped down to lows of 108. So why am I bringing this one up? You might think, oh, that's a fail. Well, not really, because I said in the video, my buy orders are at 110. If it can fall to 110, I will be invested in the stock. It fell to 108. And I said in my video, you can go watch it after, we're expecting to rally back up to 115, 120. Now, we reached 117, so pretty spot on in my opinion. That's bang in the middle of what I said. But we did exactly what I expected. Sold off after earnings. Down to lows of 108. I couldn't have predicted that, no. But we rallied. We came back. A good $7, $8 in very quick time. And now it's back at 117. So honestly, this has done exactly what I wanted to do. This is exactly what I expected, especially as an investor. As I've said plenty of times before, you're not going to always get these prices. So when you have an earnings sell-off, you know, you have any news which affects the stock negatively, try and get in and make some money by getting in the shares, especially companies that you're a fan of, especially companies that you use, especially companies that, you know, well, most likely going to remain in business, at least in the near future. So that's Airbnb. Next up, AMAT, Applied Materials. So for Applied Materials, what I like about this stock is within quick succession, it rallied. So we were at 170, 173, and we rallied. There's a doji there, and then we rallied all the way to 214. That was pretty impressive for me in just a couple weeks. I mean, Applied Materials is not a stock that gets talked about a lot, but like I said, we rallied from 170 something to 214 in quick succession. A lot of people don't talk about this stock, which I'm not really sure why, but it brings back great returns, especially if you swing trade it. So you can see the chart, you can see where we're at now. That $200 price point is where we're looking to go to before we burst above that and go a little bit higher. But I still think this is one to watch for this month as well. But like I said in my video, I was looking at this when it was 181 and it got up to 197 before 213 very quickly. Once again, if you don't know how to trade, then some stocks like this, which have a very continuous pattern, see, from 256 down and then back up again, you can trade those as well. Like, let me zoom out and show you how bullish this chart is. It's very bullish overall. This is the daily chart. Look how bullish the stock is overall. So you can trade that. It's a nice play to swing trade. It's also nice for getting shares. Next up, SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. All right, here we are, SoFi. So we're at $8 from 640, 650 where I made my video, all the way up past 7. We've gone from 615. I think we dropped down to 615 after my video and then obviously came back up, to that level of support. It's consolidated a little bit and now I've pushed up to 8, just steadily uptrending. We've got more room to go higher than that. I like SoFi. When people start flooding to fintech, this is going to be the one. Just wait. I mean, again, you see that white line is 652. It's where my support is. We held that line for a little bit and now we're back up at $8. It didn't take too much, but we're there again. That's 20-25% returns on the shares. Of course, if you zoom out, you'll see that we have a bigger price target for SoFi. You guys see, my first level is $10. Once we break $10, we're going to 11. $10 is the first price target. And if you zoom further out, you'll see that you haven't missed this play yet. I always say that this one has to get back to that white line at $11. Whether it happens in the next 18 or 20 months, I don't know. But again, if we fall back to this level of support, I'll be buying more so we can trend back up to that $11 price point. But I like SoFi where it's at. I like that it's jumped up 20-25% over the past month. It's another stock that I think is underrated and again, similar to Palantir from last year. Next up, Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. So when I made my video and talked about Amazon, it was around $167. So I believe earnings happened right after and it's tanked 9%. That can happen, but that's why I said wait till after earnings before you decide what to do with this. Now we're back up 178. We've started to break above the moving averages again. We started to show signs of bullish momentum. We're doing our thing with Amazon. Again, that 9% drop after earnings, after we were at 189, now we've gone from 189 to 152. That was heavy, but we got back to 180 very quickly, and we still have more upside potential. So yeah, this is one of those bigger stocks, right? One of the bigger companies. It's not going out of business anytime soon. Here's the 4-hour chart. You can see we're starting to break above the 200 MA as well. And just going back to the daily chart. Actually, let me show you the monthly chart. That's also bullish. Here we go, the monthly chart. Nice. Wicked off the moving averages, but stayed trending higher. So daily chart is looking nice. I still think Amazon is going to go back up to 200 within the next few weeks. So by the end of the month, we shall see. But again, if a stock drops like this after earnings that heavily, don't be scared. Don't run away, especially when it's a big company like Amazon. Use that to your advantage. And of course, make some money. There's money to be made there. So help yourself out. And yeah, that's what I want to do with Amazon. Next up, Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. This one had August in a chokehold. This one had August by the balls. This one, after I made my video that I said I'd like to see it sell off to 100, it went from 107, where is it? 107 all the way down to 90. We dropped to 90. Crazy work with Nvidia. Obviously, it got back up extremely quickly. The VIX was at like 64 that day. So yeah, here from 90, we rallied all the way up to 130. Impressive, right? Broke above the moving averages and traded up to 130. That's a 30 to 35% return on your shares. That is a great play for those of you who had long calls. Those of you who had a call for 30 days out, well, congratulations, you made some crazy money. Obviously, we had the earnings day, a couple of days ago. It was the big one of the month. It was huge. It was this and it was that. And after consolidation, we sold off. But it's all good, because if you look at a month ago and you bought in a month ago, well, you're still up on your shares, despite what happened with the earnings a couple of days ago. Now, after earnings, just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, they dropped off. They sold off because they didn't wow with earnings. Their earnings was good, but it wasn't great. Not good enough for this to see the stock rally back up to 140 or back up to 130. So yeah, it sold off down to like 116, 117, but now it's recovered back to 119. I still think Nvidia is looking nice long term, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this back at 140 by the end of September. Now, there were 2 bonus stocks I gave you at the end of that video. One was Nike, ticker symbol NKE. Nike was like $73 when I made that video back in August. $72 or $73. And since that video, it rallied all the way to highs of $86. So it jumped up, right? A couple of days it had, nice bullish momentum. Here's one a few days ago, this week as well. Just pushed up above the moving averages and trended way higher than we expected. So again, if you bought Nike shares when I made that video, $72, $73, you got a nice solid return, 15 to 20% on the shares. Once again, none of this is financial advice, but you can see the reason I'm looking at these stocks. I said Nike was oversold after the earnings drop off after June. It was way oversold. It continued to downtrend, and it was only a matter of time before it started to get its stock price booming again. Now you see we're back up at 83. We're not back at the highs from earlier this year or back up to where we were before that June earnings, but we're still making our way there. So again, this is the kind of thing you want to review when you're looking at different stocks. This is the kind of thing you want to just see. If you pull up the monthly chart, you'll see how green this is. That's so delightful, right? 2 months in a row, red. August, very green. And it's going to continue making some progress. And now, last but not least, the one I'd say is probably the best on this list, Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX. Look at that monthly candle. Now, that is a green candle, if I ever seen one. Last time they had one of those was October, November last year, before the war news came out and they started to, move a little bit funny. But Starbucks outdid itself this month. One of my top stocks to watch for August outdid itself. This stock was around $70 as well, $70, $72 when I made the video right here, probably around 73. It jumped up $25 to highs of $98. First, you got the gap up. We pulled on back to moving average and we pushed up again. Starbucks was one of the top stocks to watch for August. Now you can see why. I mean, this is a classic W pattern, right, with the gaps. And it was definitely a W for those of you who actually traded Starbucks or invested in Starbucks. But we still have more room to run. If you think you've missed it, you haven't missed it. This is what happens when fundamental analysis and technical analysis come together to make a stock go crazy. So yeah, those were my top stocks to watch for August. Now you see how they panned out. Pretty much all of them went to how we expected, how I planned it out. I mean, Airbnb is lower than the price when I made the video, but Airbnb did do what I expected. It sold off and then it recovered. So pretty good. In my opinion, that's a win as well. Now you understand how I work, and now you understand what I look for, and now you understand how things can pan out when we do that. If you're not in the Discord, it's the first link in the description. It's the Royal Trading Academy. Make sure you go check it out. We talk about stocks, we do breakdowns, we look at charts, we review those kind of things, we do live sessions, study sessions, we do that all and a lot more. So go check out the Royal Trading Academy. Second link in the description is the Stock Option Starter Pack. Talk about stocks, options, implied volatility, the Greeks, theta decay, intrinsic, extrinsic value, terminology, so much more as well. Go and look at that. Go and learn from that. It's going to help you a lot. And of course, follow me on all social media at The Wealth Prince. I've been posting a lot more content recently, so I'd definitely appreciate if you can support. And speaking of support, drop a thumbs up, show your support, show your love, comment, share, and subscribe if you're around here. But that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Let's make it a great September as well. I'm going to be making, you're going to be making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.